Well, it had been a dream of mine to build a 12-inch corn head, and we kind of had an idea of how it could be done. And a little over a year ago, we met up with Harry Stein, and he said that he had some genetics that he thought were well suited for really high populations, and he wanted to go to 12-inch rows. And I told him, I said, I'm pretty confident we can build a 12-inch corn head for you. So the two of us have been working together here, trying to make the mechanical side and the agronomic side and the genetic side, put all three of them together, and we're hoping to get a big pop in yield. As we move into the future to grow more corn, I don't think we're going to do it with bigger ears on the stalk. I don't think we're going to do it by putting doubles on the stalk. And I'm going to agree with Harry. We're going to do it with more plants, and we're going to go to a smaller ear. So his philosophy is that a half-pound ear is too much, too big for the stalk, and a third of a pound ear is something that can support. Now, we all realize that corn is a grass, and grasses like to be solid seeded. And in my opinion, I told Harry, I said, the most abnormal thing man ever did was to take the corn plant and put it in a row. It's a grass, you don't like it. And so by going into the 12-inch rows, you go 12 by 12 would be 43,000 plants. Harry's gone a little bit further, and I'm doing it as well at my place. We're up at 50,000 plants per acre. There are some of these genetics that we believe will handle that kind of population. But you got to be careful. You can't take the normal genetics that were bred for 30 or 36-inch rows and try to grow them in 15 or 12-inch rows. So that's why, genotypically speaking, we have to be on target. A little shorter plant, a little smaller ear, but a lot more of them out in the field. This particular corn head right here has 30 rows on it, and it's a first 30-row corn head ever built in the world, and we're going to work with the Guinness Book of World Records and try to get that locked in for us. So they're 12 inches apart, so that makes it a 30-foot head. Yes, this one's already sold. We built 2 of them this year. And this one will end up in central Iowa, and the other one actually will end up in central Iowa. They haven't had real great weather out there this year, but they still believe in the concept of going to the more of a solid seeded kind of a thing. The other part about this corn head is its history and its predecessors, of course, were all 15-inch heads. And in 1995, we were the first ones in the world to build a non-row sensitive corn head, which simply means that we can go in any direction in the field. The first prototype that I built, I might have had $11,000 in the prototype, and we're still, running that same design today that allows us to go any way we want. The other great thing is if we have some down corn or some wind-blowing corn, and you can't find the rows out there, a head like this, we just set it on the ground and take off, and we're just actually like combining drilled beans, and we're able to go any direction that we'd like. Yeah, 15-inch planters are already on the market, and they're relatively heavy. And if you've got much residue and you're in a no-till environment, you can have a few issues there. The 12-inch planters, you actually have to have them custom built, and they use a little narrower gauge wheel, a little more stagger in the row units, but it can be done. And we always like to run by the philosophy, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right, and we think that this is the future, and we think that we can, and we will continue to do this. It'll take the genetic side of things to kick it in. I do believe that these new super hybrids is what I call them, and I've kind of nicknamed it out in the field. When you see them growing in the field, it looks a little bit like sweet corn on steroids. Growing out there, small ears, not much of a tassel, but the genetic people have got to produce the seed, and then once the farmers start to see that they can plant it at 40 or 50 or maybe even 60,000 an acre, once we get to that level, then you'll see the machinery thing will come right in behind it. This particular corn head is also equipped with hydraulic plates, which was a real challenge on 12-inch rows because there's not a lot of room underneath there for the cam pivot arms and the movable plates and the hydraulic cylinder that it takes to drive it. This corn head is also equipped with the row sense, which is the true sight that comes from the head sight people. So it'll actually be able to steer itself down through the field as well. So it's got all of the bells and whistles that you would like. And last but not least, it has our BT chopping stalk rolls on it. And so it's a chopping corn head as well. It'll turn the corn stalk into pieces that are about 1 inch in length, and then it will also shear them in half so that the pith of the stalk is exposed, and that way the earthworms, microbes, and bacteria will be able to get in and decompose.